Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking a bit more about the Xbox bloodbath because I just made a video about the fact that they're canceling all their games. Everwild, Rare is basically being gutted. They've shut down multiple studios. They're killing Perfect Dark. But on top of this, it just came out about 10 minutes ago that Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox and Microsoft Gaming, he's quitting. He's retiring. He's going off into the sunset and probably getting like a $20 million bonus for all of his hard work. Now, people have been watching this channel for a while knows that I made multiple videos specifically calling for the firing of Phil Spencer. I think this guy is straight up just a liar. I mean, he has made so many empty promises, so many things that just never came out. Here's Crackdown 4. Oh, where's Scalebound? Where's everything that he's constantly talked about? But the worst part about this is that I truly believe in my heart of hearts, all of this failure, all of the bad business is squarely on the shoulders of Phil Spencer. And I feel like the fact that this man took over in 2014. Think about the last 11 years of Xbox. It has literally been the worst ever for Xbox and in a lot of ways for gaming in general. But let's talk about his statement. Let's talk about when he's quitting and why I honestly feel like the guy should just get kicked out now and no bonus. Just get out. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Here it is. Phil Spencer will allegedly retire as CEO after the next console launch. Now, there have been a couple leaks about the fact that the next Xbox is actually coming out here in maybe the next 16 months, as really soon as that seems. But the talk is that Xbox has this idea to sort of, maybe rush isn't the right word, but rush out the next gen system. That right now the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro they're the best place to play for consoles. If you're trying to get graphics, if you're trying to get exclusives, the PS5 is top notch. So the talk is that essentially Xbox has this idea to try and get the next Xbox out before the PlayStation 6. They're very intimidated by the fact that the PlayStation 6 is already in full-blown development. So they're trying to get it out by like winter of 2026 or spring of 2027. So it sounds like he's trying to just get that shoved out and then retire with a golden parachute. Phil Spencer will be retiring from his role as CEO of Microsoft Gaming after the launch of the next-gen Xbox. Phil Spencer is working closely with Sarah Bond and her team to ensure a smooth transition for her to take over as CEO of Microsoft Gaming. It's unclear yet as who's going to take over as president of Xbox, which is Sarah's current job, when she becomes the CEO. Now, a lot of people are like, bro, are you trolling? Look, it's pretty obvious that when Sarah Bond takes over, this is purely going to be a PC company. But I do want to quickly mention the fact that it is interesting that people, even in the last couple weeks, were trying to claim that everything is about to be great. Xbox has turned a corner. The future of Microsoft's gaming platform once again looks incredibly bright. This is an article from June 18th, 2025. Literally 2.5 weeks ago, people were out there trying to hype things up. Xbox is doing great. Please pack your things. This is basically the messaging right now from Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer has been posting statements inside of Microsoft's chats and stuff where he's basically like, you guys did so good. The whole brand is so fantastic. Pack up, get out. And a lot of people are annoyed specifically because it shows about the fact that Game Pass was an experiment that just didn't work. I was looking forward to Perfect Dark. I genuinely blame pushing Game Pass down people's throats. It just doesn't work. Might get hate for it, but it's true. I want to own my games. Now, there have been a lot of interesting talks, both public and private, but stuff that all kind of came out that very much so, the entire bet, the big gamble specifically that Phil Spencer made, Phil Spencer was completely a devout believer in Game Pass. He straight up, in tons of meetings that ended up leaking, he basically was like, look, we could sell a game for $50 or $60, but what if instead we got every single person to just subscribe to Game Pass? Instead of trying to get a bunch of people to buy this game or that game, instead of trying to buy this or that, get everybody to pay into a platform permanently, and then we get instant perpetual revenue for all time. So it makes it where we can fund experimental games and tiny indies, big stuff, tiny stuff. But the problem was that this never worked. I think the rough Game Pass numbers are that they kind of leveled out around 22, 25 million people a month. And that's not even the highest tier. That's kind of mid-tier people. there was original discussions that their goal was to get up to 100 million players, like 100 million Game Pass people. So even by best estimations, they are 75% below their goal. And I think that Phil Spencer's realized, just looking at their own profitability, their own numbers, this just didn't work. Xbox is the worst run gaming business. Game Pass is a money sinkhole, and you paid $80 billion to acquire studios only to lay off employees and cancel games. You clearly couldn't afford to comfortably buy that, and now you are just wrong. You are idiots. Now, I want to make it a point. This guy, Rob of Rule of Two Review, like this guy a lot. His videos are actually very positive. To see this guy actually calling it out, I feel like it's, to me, it's kind of stark, because this is completely right. The whole idea was that really everything that Phil Spencer was behind was that we can have infinite growth. As long as we keep finding new stuff out there, people will buy into it. And I feel like they were trying to make marketing FOMO to say, hey, if you get Game Pass, you want to keep subscribed to it because you don't want to miss that next game. But what ended up happening is that those years where there were almost no Xbox games, people weren't subscribing to Game Pass. There was huge chunks of time, years at a time, where you're getting like Pentiment and Grounded or Hellblade Senua's Saga. And you're like, okay, those games are fine. They're not bad, but I'll just buy them. If I really want to buy it, I'll buy them. A lot of them are like $20 or $40. Why am I going to pay $100 a year for Game Pass to get a couple $40 games? A lot of people have also talked about the Game Pass curse, which is that there was a whole stint of games that came out that actually sucked. There was a bunch of Xbox exclusives that you could play in Game Pass that were short, not particularly good. And a lot of people were just doing that math and basically saying that it's very obvious that this was just never really working out. On the back end, to have games, your big budget stuff, Indiana Jones and stuff that costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make and promote and stuff like that, you can't really break even with a $20 a month subscription fee. And that's why now you're seeing all those games jump across and be sold on PlayStation, because they need that money. It turns out the Game Pass experiment, literally, like they said, is a sinkhole. Leadership should just be honest about what they're doing and stop trying to pretty up kicking hardworking colleagues to the curb because you want to upgrade your wallet. I get it. Layoffs are sometimes unavoidable, but not here. There were a million tribal ways before leading here yet again, but it'll never stop being disappointing how cowardly their messaging always comes off. Literally just today, and I made a video about it, Phil Spencer posted this big long statement about how hardworking, how talented, how important Xbox is, only to immediately follow it with studio closures, with cancellations, with tons of people straight up being told your hard work is not enough, your passion isn't enough, your profitability isn't enough. And I feel like it started to make it where a lot of people are going, okay, this is the legacy of Xbox. Canceled, 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 canceled. Fired, 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 fired. Why would you ever support Xbox? I'm dead serious. At this point, I feel like there's no Xbox YouTubers left. There's nobody left to cheer this on because their mistakes so vastly outnumbered their W's. I've had a chance to go on some Xbox podcasts, to talk to some Xbox people, some people that are very passionate about the brand. And something a lot of them have talked about is that what really makes Xbox exciting is the potential, the hype. Oh, these acquisitions, these deals, these promises, the statements by Phil Spencer, they seem to be leading to a great future ahead. But it never materialized. I mean, I feel like that's my biggest thing is that it's just so obvious that Phil Spencer, if he ever had a plan, it definitely didn't pan out. I do truly say that this entire thing, the death of Xbox, that's on Phil. And that $20 bonus, walking off into the sunset, this is scummy. Top to bottom, I think this guy should be fired. I don't think he should get an ending bonus. I think they should just straight up kick him out. Let Sarah Bond take over. Let her try and save it. Because at this point, I'll take those games. I will buy Xbox games on PlayStation, on PC. I'll buy them. I'm saying kill Game Pass. Keep making the games. Do not shut these studios down. That's just my thoughts. How do you feel about current day Xbox? And specifically, how do you feel about the legacy of Lion Phil Spencer? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Oh, what a wet fart.